Okay, tip number one. If you've got a travel trailer, you're going to want one of these. Right here. You're going to need this. That's what the travel trailer hooks to.
Okay. I'm going to leave that in.
Alright. Okay, this is our just a little tip to let you know. This is our recurve hitch, and we like it. It works good. Yes, it's very dirty right now, but I don't worry about cleaning it until we're ready to move, and we're boondocking in quartzite, and so it gets dusty. But initially when I installed this, assembled it and put it together, got it all set up, tightened these bolts up to the torque specification, and it did not pinch in against here. And so it was always kind of rocking back and forth. Finally, my brain kicked in, and I realized when you're torquing bolts down, if you make sure they're wet with not water, but with like WD-40, something like that, called the wet torque, the threads don't bind up inside the nut, and you find that you can wrench a lot more before you reach the specified torque. And so I disassembled it. I weighted the bolts down and the nuts with WD-40, tightened it back up, and before I got to the torque setting, sure enough, it's still going, and it pinched this in, which I'm sure is the way the manufacturer wants it. So it's nice and solid now, and we don't get the sway. Also, thanks very much, Gary, by the way. A friend gave this to me, and I put that on. What helps do is it takes the slop out of where this fits into the hitch receiver. And wow, what a difference, guys, when we're going down the road. I mean, it was instant success. Between the two things, it just makes it pull so much smoother. So, you know, I know everybody doesn't have these same kind of systems, but if you can take the slop out of, if you have slop, just it'll fit where this goes into your trailer hitch receiver. Get one of these bad boys and tighten it up on there. I had to do it several times before it was just kind of seated and in there. And I have a little project I want to do. You'll notice that it's tipped quite a bit. What I want to do is I want to drill it and put a bolt through it with a nut on the back to use the bolt head to take up some space between here to level this out a little bit better, and that will bring that up even tighter underneath the bottom of the receiver. But it's working great. And if you can, the bottom line, the tip is, go over your system on the back. If you've got any slop in there that you can eliminate, you're going to find that when you get rid of it, you got a lot smoother pull, especially in high winds. You're not dealing with that racking back and forth as you're going down the road. That's the tip. Tip number two. We have a wee boost that we use. It was the one designed for RVs, and according to the instructions, I initially mounted the receiver for it onto the roof of the trailer. And you know, I really thought that thing was a waste of money. $500 out the window, because it really wasn't boosting the signal. And finally what I did was, we got a telescoping pole. I mounted it to the top of this telescoping pole. When it's all collapsed, it will fit in the basement of our 30-foot travel trailer. I connected it just with regular coaxial cable. It's nothing fancy, but this is the original cable that come with the wee boost. Now, of course, I had to fish that inside, and I ran it down the side here so it's more convenient. I can just hook this up. I put a little cap on here. Well, hey everybody, I'll tell you, just as soon as I got that thing up in the air, I'm so sorry, wee boost, I was picking on you at first. Man, that thing works like a charm now. And as Sandy pointed out, one time we didn't have a signal. Now I know you can't boost zero into anything, but we didn't have a signal because there was obstructions. Apparently there was a lot of trees or a building or whatever was blocking. We had no signal on our cell phones. I put this thing up in the air, and bang, we had at least 2 bars. So once again, sorry WeBoost, I picked on you at first. It was just, I had to get the thing up in the air. And right now we're sitting in the middle of the desert, and we have 5G and about 4 bars. So $500, and again, this is, well, not again, but I would mention this is, we bought this back in 2019. The way technology is, WeBoost may have improved it, the antenna and all that, but it works great for us. So I guess another extra tip is, you know, rather than buy the fanciest, latest, greatest, if you can find a used one and you know it's working, you're buying it from someone you trust, you can save yourself some money and get one that's 2 years old, and it'll work great for you. So sorry at first, WeBoost, but thank you now.
Hi everybody. I have another tip for you for smooth RV living. This one is about your awning. Your awning, a lot of people may not know this, but these awnings are rated to 20 mile per hour winds when they are tied down. Some people don't even mention that when they're giving you your tutorial when you first pick up your trailer. So it's important to know it's rated for 20 miles per hour when it's tied down. We tie ours down all the time just to be on the safe side. Ed's got these little hooks up here that he tied the cord to, and then we have stakes in the ground, and you want to get that as tight as you can so the metal doesn't flap. Now keep in mind that the weak spot on your awning is actually the fabric, it's not the metal frame. So what is going to give first is this seam where it's attached to the trailer. So that's what you really need to watch out for. And of course, if it's 20 mile an hour winds or higher, we definitely put ours in. No sense in taking chances when you don't need to. And if you're going out for the day, definitely put your awning in if you're not here to watch it, because we were at a place one time where we had gone out to explore. We put our awning in before we left. When we came back, we realized that a heavy gust had come through, and we were driving through this one RV park and realized that probably 6 or 8 of the people in that RV park, their awnings were crushed, twisted up all over the place, on the ground, just totally mangled from this gust that came through. So definitely, if you're not home to watch it, definitely put it up.
Hey everybody, it's Ed with Over the Hills 2019, and yes, this isn't a pretty topic, but let's talk about it anyway. This is our honey wagon, and you all have probably seen other videos about the wheels on this thing. But here's a problem that happened to us last year. When we got to Quartzsite for the second time, we had been in freezing weather prior to arriving there. And the first time we tried to use this, it started leaking right around the collar here. And I realized, well, Sandy spotted it, it was cracked. So I fixed it by putting silicone seal inside and outside. It's mostly the inside that's really got it fixed. It doesn't leak anymore, but I feel what caused the problem was when we were up in Montana, we were in freezing weather. There was just enough water in there that it froze and cracked this collar. So what's the fix? Well, I've been thinking about making sure it's dried out very well, but you know, that's probably not the ideal solution. And the folks we're currently hanging out with in North Carolina, our good friends Gary and Mary Ann, came up with a brilliant idea. I think it's just super. Rain-X window washer fluid. It will not freeze. So I'm going to pour, I've already cleaned this out. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that in here. And the rest can go in the truck, which we need to do anyway, because oddly, when we were in Quartzsite and I needed the window washer fluid, you know, they didn't have any that wasn't good for below zero or freezing. So I've got to change that out in the truck too. I don't want to drive up into the Dakotas and have a problem. So, not much of a video, but I wanted to share it with you. It doesn't really matter what you've got, what model it is or anything, but I thought this was a very clever idea and cheap too, to make sure that any residual moisture that you have inside your honey wagon doesn't freeze and cause a crack someplace, and you're out the money or doing some ugly repair. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, thanks for subscribing, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I could use a big thumbs up right now. Thank you.